Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. Welcome. When we think we want to make these things, we are sponsored by what? Disposed. Garbage company was kind of small when it became large and getting larger. That's right. Why? Because I'm one of the people that's on the board. One of the people that's going to make things happen. So I want to find out what I can do for you, because a company like mine can do great things for you if you just give us the opportunity and the chance.
Absolutely.
Customer service is one of the things I like and I appreciate, and I want to make sure we keep.
Yes.
So come find out about what we can do for you.
All right.
That's Disposed. Now, the person I got next to me has been with me since I've been doing this, and this dude is Craftmatic. How you doing, big baby?
Man, I'm doing pretty good this week. Doing pretty good this week, man.
Just excited, man. You got a little extra sparkle in your eye.
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
Yeah, man. I just learning to relive life a little bit.
Learn to relive.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you go, when things change in life, you gotta learn to relive and repackage yourself, redeliver yourself to the world. Recharge.
Okay.
So been doing some of that.
Spark. You trying to tell somebody you trying to do some big things?
No, man. Listen, I am now. Listen, I'm still on fire for life. You know what I'm saying? I still got a lot of good stuff going on, bro.
So some in the past don't hold you back from your future.
Absolutely, bro.
Nobody can take your gift.
Listen, one of the things, and this is real close to my heart right now. We don't want to go too deep in now.
Why not?
But
that's what we known for.
Yeah.
Pour it out, baby.
Yeah. When you look over your shoulder, you made me lose my train of thought, man. Talk about that.
I'm sorry.
When you look over your shoulder, man, and you look in your future, you got to realize that they're always not going to be the same picture. When you look in your past and you look in your future, you got to realize that they're not going to be the same picture.
Well, if you think about it like this, when you drive, your rear view is very small.
Yeah.
Your windshield is very wide.
There you go.
So why are you looking back
when
you need to be looking forward?
There you go.
Again, if it was meant for you to be, if it was meant for that person, she'd stay in the front.
Right.
When they get to be, he, when they're in the past, they're in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
My whole thing is, it's nice to glimpse back, but please stay forward.
Stay focused on the future. Yeah, because there's always something greater to come. There's always something greater to come.
What's for you is for you.
Yeah, let me properly introduce us. This is Bar Talk with Jay, and my name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay, and we got Miss Leslie in the house tonight, who's going to do something fabulous for us. We're going to give her an opportunity to do a full introduction, but we got CEOs in the house.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Trying to make them big moves.
There you go. And this show is really about developing yourself.
Yes.
And you develop yourself through our dialogue. As you hear our stories, our opinions, our experiences, just kind of find yourself in the midst of them and decide for yourself. Who am I? Who am I going to be? How am I going to handle that situation the next time? What did I do versus what will I do in the future? It's just an opportunity to take a good look at yourself and find out how you can become your greatest possibility. I always use that term. We're always looking to get the most life out of life, and I think the best way to do that is by going within. When you take a good, honest look at yourself, you'll make the appropriate changes that need to be made so that you can move on to a whole, healthy, and powerful life, which we all have the ability to do. So we want to thank you folks for being here with us tonight. This is going to be a dynamic show. And, one that I'm not sure where it's going, but it is absolutely going to be dynamic.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I help you out.
Yeah, we're going to talk specifically, today's topic, we're going to talk about how do you confess your love to someone. Or perhaps we're going to talk, recognizing when you are in love and when to confess your love to that person. We want to talk about love tonight.
Sound like you snitching.
Yes. And, man, that's going to be powerful. So we never want to get the show too far gone unless we give it to the Lord. So let's go ahead and take our prayer time and see what His works can do for us tonight. Yes, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this show. We thank you for all the people who have joined us tonight and all the people who will join us. We thank you for an opportunity to be leaders in our community. We thank you for the opportunity to be able to listen, learn, and grow without a hardcore negative experience in our life. We do that through listening to wisdom and listening and becoming better understanding of the real works of life. And we ask that you would come into this room tonight and speak a rhema word, that you would say something, deliver a powerful message, organize our thoughts and this whole conversation so that we can experience a greater understanding of you and a greater understanding of love. We ask all this in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Right. Somebody moving toward love tonight, I believe.
If they ain't, can they move the cash app? Can I go to Bar Talk with you? Cash app me and telling you that we have a prayer like that, we're going to make moves happen.
Man,
yeah.
you know, I need to do a whole show on prayer.
We can see.
Yeah, because it's just...
Past the craft.
It is the essence, man. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but...
You could have fooled
just
me.
imagine if I could give you a light switch, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's something that you desire in your life, but you don't know how to access it. You don't know how to turn the switch on in order for that thing to come to you, in order for that thing to be a part of your life. So I'm going to tell you that prayer is that light switch.
Oh, that's that connection.
Yeah, so what you do is you take your heartfelt desires and you pour them out almost into a bubble. I want this and I need that and I'm hoping you can help me with this and organize my thoughts and give me more life and more freedom, and you ask for all these things, and then you just let the bubble go up to God. That's all you got to do. Okay. And there is no what's the word they use? For every reaction there's an equal and opposite reaction. That I'm telling you, blessings will rain down upon your life like you've never seen before. But we are oftentimes in our own way. Right. And we won't, even if you don't believe in prayer, believe in the law of mind, the law of attraction, right? And the law of attraction is the same thing, right?
Mine is going to be mine, I'm going to go get it, mine.
People are missing a lot of life because they don't know how life really works, man. All your problems can be resolved just like that in a prayer. And when you give it to the Lord, He can do magnificent things. And I see it all the time in my life. So just kind of word to the wise for you folks. Let's take some time to cover last week's topic.
You got nothing to do with prayer, but keep going.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with prayer. We might need to pray about it again, though, right? Last week, we talked about how do we deal with and overcome our insecurities in relationships.
First of all, you got to deal with a lot of insecurities is self-driven.
Self-driven insecurities. That is definitely one of the things we talked about.
And people are having a hard time bringing that to the forefront because it's a weakness.
Right.
And the number one thing, if you ain't sure about a person, you ain't want to tell yourself about
if you can't trust yourself.
It's just one of them hidden secrets that kind of tears you up. And then when it finally comes out, it's more of an embarrassment. But to me, if you embrace your insecurities to realize that you ain't perfect, you can play off them just as strong as your strong point.
There we go.
I don't have to stay on it. I just mention it.
Right.
And then I can keep it moving because the bottom line, I ain't never gave up on me.
Right.
So if you want to use it, that's up to you, and I know that person is not for me.
Right.
You got to find out who you're going to eliminate.
You got to
People keep holding on to what ain't necessary. Everybody ain't for you.
Yeah.
Just because they're around you, I see you over here, might know about that. Everybody that just grabs onto you might not be worth holding on to, period.
Absolutely.
They grab it because they see where you're going, and they know they can't get there on their own.
There you go.
That ain't necessarily a person that really needs to be around you.
Yeah.
A person that's going to encourage you, enhance you, and make you feel good about you is a person I will always hold on to, regardless of money. It's just about where my mentalness is going to go.
Absolutely.
I get more mentally than I can probably get physically because people are going to pay me for my mental.
There you go.
I'm a strong
There you
person.
go. I really want to go back to those self-inflicted insecurities. We all have insecurities.
Yes.
We all have opportunity areas to grow, right? And oftentimes we just use our strength in the world, and that just becomes, who we are, the picture of who we are. But there's always some underlying things that we're not sure of, we're not comfortable of about ourselves. And, that's why self-improvement and self-development and self-understanding is so important, because you can't overcome any of those insecurities until you grow, right? And so, growth becomes necessary. Growth becomes necessary. I just got a message that somebody can't hear us. Somebody can't hear us on Facebook Live. I'm hoping they can hear you. So, what did I lose my whole train of thought? Insecurities in relationships. We talked a lot about self-inflicted insecurities or insecurities within myself that hinder a relationship. Because if I'm insecure within myself, I'm probably always nagging the other person. Maybe to even just fill my gap, right? Just maybe the other person they're strong in making decisions, and so I'm not strong in making decisions. So now I lean on them to make all the decisions, and that can be hard on a relationship, right?
It's called henpeck. They got words for that.
One henpeck is one of them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Henpeck is one of them. The other one is you just won't make a damn decision, and you got to lean on me to always make decisions.
It's called lazy.
Yeah,
It's got words out there already.
It could be lazy.
Because you don't want to take proactive measures to do anything.
Yeah, and
I lazily sit back and let you do whatever you want to do, knowingly you have an idea. That's why I call it. Your idea should always be shown.
Should at least
Whatever
be shown.
need to be said need to come out.
Yes.
Because if it's not, you're gonna die with it.
Right.
Get it to the world.
Right.
You never know.
So insecurities can hinder relationships, and of course, there's always those insecurities that are driven by what I see in my mate.
Ooh, what did you see in your mate?
They're coming home late, and the phone is kind of, privacy, and there's who was you talking to, or why your phone ain't ringing.
Another candidate.
Why are you late for work? Right? There are things that happen in relationships that make people feel uncomfortable, and so I think those should most certainly be taken into account. In a relationship, one of the key things I think we talked about was that you should, first of all, we talked about not arguing, learning how to argue, right? In argument, you never throw dirt. You never throw out another person's insecurities or their faults or their mistakes and all that stuff, right? Because if you do, all you're doing is just clouding the highway, and sometimes you just get off the issue at hand because you're throwing dirt. You're talking about what happened yesterday and last month and etc. Don't use people's insecurities against them, okay? And that's what oftentimes happens in arguments, right? It causes a big problem in relationships.
It does, but it sure come in handy sometimes.
Oh, see, that's what we talk about.
People off you quick. It is.
Well,
it's dirty.
And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes if you got somebody throwing dirt, the best way to shut them down is to throw the same dirt at them, right?
Yeah, but
I'm telling you, it works every single time.
I know you, they ain't doing what I do, and you throw my dirt back on me.
Yeah,
it's my dirt.
Yeah.
Listen, I play in my sandbox.
Right.
I don't meet.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm just saying, it is not going to affect me how you will want it to. But the bottom line is, that's tit for tat.
Yeah, it's not
just
gonna.
tell me how you really feel.
That's important.
That's just tit for tat.
It's not going to affect you how you want it to feel, which means that I might have insecurities and you might use them against me. But don't think that you get nowhere, because I'm still confident who I am. I know I got some issues that I might need to address, but I ain't gonna let you tear me down in no way. You know what I mean? Because I know your faults, and you probably don't want me to talk about your faults. If I mention,
you want to snitch,
you can talk about my faults, but if I say one little thing about your faults, you go off. Well, it might be time for you to go off. Right?
Let it go. Let that person go off.
Yeah.
Tell it.
Yeah, listen, it was a fabulous show. I really, really enjoyed the show, and I think there was a whole lot of understanding myself in the midst of that. Because during every sentence, every dialogue, I'm saying to myself, okay, Stacey, you think you could be more confident in this area, and how does that affect your relationship? I'm really taking ownership of it, so I got a lot out of it. I hope you folks will get a lot out of it. Go back and take a look at it. We're all over the internet. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes,
keep going.
Meet Me, Black Planet.
That's right.
Where else? Craigslist.
That's right. Let go. Offer up. You selling it, we doing it.
Offer up. I like that.
Back page, what?
You wild.
Man, we off the chain with it.
Yeah, listen, we are everywhere, folks. I promise you. And we put great material together. These shows, they're not a quick fix show. We're not a 5, 10 minute, 15, 30-minute show. We're a 2-hour show. And because we don't think there's enough good, solid dialogue in the world going on. And, this is just an opportunity, just like a movie. You spend an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours to watch a movie on any given night of the week. turn to Bar Talk with Jay and get some inspiration for yourself, man, because nobody's being inspired. Everybody's just listening to humor and comedy and drama and sci-fi and all that other stuff that's on TV, but nobody's being developed, and that's what we want to do. We can have a fun dialogue and still kind of get some inner spirit out of it, and that's what we represent. So check it out and let us know what you think. You're always welcome to email us topics or comments on the show. If you're alive tonight, we want to thank you for being with us. I want to recognize you a little later on in the show. But you being here makes a big difference, and I got a challenge for you folks tonight before we go to break. I'm not gonna tell you yet, but I got a challenge for you. Let's go ahead and quickly cover our quote for the week. We got about 4 minutes before we go to break.
All right.
And so Barbara always puts these together, and we want to thank you, Barbara, for what you do. I mean, we are so organized every week, and we really appreciate it. It makes all the difference to us and our audience, you know. So Barbara's quote for the week. It all begins and ends in your mind. Nothing outside of you has power over you. You decide how you think, feel, and what you do in your life. Take full ownership and become free. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Love it.
That's
Listen, if I had to, if I was, this is a little extreme, but if I'm in my grave and somebody had to write a message about the core one thing that I believe in for my entire life, it is that somehow or another, the Lord has created a system where our thoughts equal our reality. That people do not understand the power of the mind. Everything begins and ends in your mind. Now there are deeper layers where we got to do some generational stuff, and there's some stuff in your, your DNA, etc., etc. But for the most part, your lives are going to flow, ebb and flow in the direction of your mind. That's why we always say when it comes, the trolls seem to come in threes or in multiples. Why? Because it's manifestation after manifestation after manifestation. Something, you get some bad news, fear hits your spirit. It tackles your spirit. Now, you can't think up, you only think down. What's going to happen? What kind of problems and how bad is it? And the next thing you know, you're manifesting another problem. And the next thing you know, you're manifesting another problem. And the only way to break that cycle is through the mind. That's why the Lord always said the renewing of the mind is what has to take place before you can renew your spirit, before you can renew your body. And your body is not just renewing your body, this body, it's renewing your body of life. Right? Because spirit must manifest as a body. And so when you are caught up in troubles and in problems, you have to turn away from the problem to hope. To something high in the sky, you have to turn away from it to it's going to be all right. No matter what you see, it's going to be all right. Talk yourself in that direction, because everything begins and ends in the mind. Can't be said much more than that, man. Nope.
Everybody thought I was gonna chime in with something. You don't speak on that like that. That Pastor Craft and nailed that one right there.
I mean,
is that in the book of Jeremiah? I was like, boy, you went in that one hardcore.
But listen, man, I tell you, that's the thing I would want on that message. Thoughts equal reality.
That's gonna be a big old tombstone. That's all I can tell you. That's huge. Bro.
Yeah. And listen, Barbara put together a quick 1 minute for me, since I didn't hear any commentary. I'm just gonna take this and then we'll take a break. Okay. Just a quick question for the spirit and for the mind and for the hearts of our listeners. How does the power of forgiveness affect our lives? How does the power of forgiveness affect our lives? In order to understand, the answer to this question, I want you to remember cause and effect. Cause and effect, cause and effect. There's always a cause, there's always an effect to a cause. There's always a cause to an effect. If you have bottled up resentment, and you have bottled up hatred, and you have bottled up suppressed, dark, troublesome emotions in your spirit, it's going to manifest troublesome, dark, and challenging experiences on your outside. Remember, I just said the thought equals reality, right? So if you are holding pain, guess what's going to continue to manifest in your life? More pain, right? the universe is constantly growing. We know the universe is constantly growing. Then we must be constantly growing. And if we're growing with something that malnourishes our spirit, then we can't be whole and complete at the next phase, at the next level. You have to learn to forgive, because forgiveness is not necessarily about the person who you forgive. It is about releasing that bottled up anxiety out of your spirit. It's nothing but poison in your spirit to hold all those dark emotions. So, how does the power of forgiveness affect our lives? It stifles our growth. It hinders our progress. It holds us back. It's like holding heavy loads of bags from our past that we're dragging around everywhere. It makes life seem like we're always trying to go up this real steep hill because life seems so heavy. But life wouldn't be that heavy if you would just let the bags go. If you let the bags go, I promise you, healing will take place in your mind. Healing will take place in your spirit. Healing will take place in your affairs. Anybody who's ever had a broken heart knows that when they found Mr. Right, it was almost like the Lord saying, you had to go through that thing. That person didn't do you bad. They didn't do you dirty. They were a blessing to you. They taught you what this was so you can be able to receive this. Right? That's the whole process of life, is looking over our shoulder and knowing that tomorrow's not going to be what yesterday was. I got hope for tomorrow, and when I see it come into manifestation, now I move from forgiveness to gratitude. And boy, when you have a spirit of gratitude, we know people who have no education at all, but that spirit of gratitude just keep their ends coming together every month. Somehow they're grateful for the person who puts the mail, and they're grateful for the mama, and and next thing you know, you have a whole body of people surrounding you wanting to pour into your life and give to you. And when you need a ride, or when you need a meal, and when you need this, and when you need that, the Spirit of the Lord will just summons that person to your beck and call. I'm telling you folks, we gotta become spiritual. This world is too dark for us to live in with our human eyes. We gotta become spiritual in this world, and that means letting go of old pains, so that we can receive new glories. And I'll just leave it at that.
Well, hell, you left it where ain't nobody gonna be able to say nothing. I mean, what you think I'm gonna say out of crap?
That's just where my heart was, man.
Your heart was on point. One of the things I can tell you, that if you didn't understand all that, break it all the way down, can't do it. He broke it down in the simplest form as possible. You're carrying unnecessary weight.
Yes.
If you're trying to make it somewhere and you're carrying burdens of somebody else, they still living their life and you ain't living yours.
Here you come.
You're holding things that don't make no sense, and then you call yourself holding a grudge. No, you're holding yourself when that person can care less what they did to you.
Right.
Living their best life.
Right.
And you ain't living life worth nothing, because I can't wait till that person turn back to me and I'm gonna give them the business. That person ain't worried about you. That's why they did that to you, because you ain't understanding yourself.
There you go.
Let that go and be the best you. That person should never get me again. If I learn a lesson, I shouldn't be repeating.
Yeah, they should never get me again. That's
you keep holding on, you gonna keep repeating.
They gonna keep getting
because I held on to that person. So I'm waiting for that person to come back. Why wouldn't I give it to him again?
Right.
You waited on me. That don't make sense.
Okay.
Live your life to the fullest. Be happy and let that go. And receive the blessing that he has for you.
There you go.
Then claim that misery that somebody wants on you.
Yeah, he promised. He promised, and he didn't say use these words, but he promised that our latter end would be greater than our former end. And I'll just let it be at that. It is time for us to take our first break. And man, I'm so excited about this show. You just don't hear this kind of stuff anywhere else in the world, man. I'm telling you, this is a dynamic work that we're putting in. We thank you for being with us and for watching our show. Tonight, the music's going to be done by the boards tonight. And so I'm just asking you the challenge. I mentioned I was going to say a challenge.
Okay, what's the challenge?
I just want folks, if you feel the music, I want you to get up and dance right in your own living room. Just get up and dance to the music, and then come on back and let's finish up this show. Because dancing is not only good for your spirit, you probably don't do enough of it. Most people waiting to go to the club to dance, but I promise you can do it in your living room and have a great time. I do it at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I get up and I hear one of my favorite songs. I'm in the living room like with a strobe light.
Right. With a strobe light.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know how to live life, bro. I don't wait for the club. The club is born in my living room sometime, you know. So,
you got a pole up in that bad boy?
No, listen.
You thinking about it?
I watch one. I got an imaginary one in my mind, you know. So
in your kitchen?
In any room I want.
Crab freaky, yeah.
So listen, y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. We got Jamal coming on next, the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey, and of course we got our special guest, Miss Leslie in the house.
Topic? We gotta give him a topic.
Yeah, I already gave him topic. Okay, the topic is for tonight. How do you confess your love to someone?
Jesus.
Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we are back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well, it's good to know that somebody's willing to donate you a pole there, party. She said you don't gotta imagine it. You can actually have it.
Are you giving it away and selling it?
She said you can have
You
it.
giving it away, huh?
She giving that pole away.
Damn.
Boy, slip and slide, what we do up in here. Only with Bar Talk with Jay. Well, tonight, we want to make sure we got that person on the line. We got him on the line, Rock. This person right here that we're about to bring up is straight out of Philly. I don't know how his day went, but again, Jamal is out there on them streets. Jamal, how you doing tonight, big baby? Jamal, I'm gonna need you to turn down the car music.
That's our music. He listening to the show.
Turn the show down.
Oh, then turn the show down, baby.
We can't hear you,
Jamal, you gotta mute or something, bro.
All right. We tried. I'm not sure what's going on, folks. So we try to get Jamal on the line. Let me go ahead and take a moment and just recognize the folks who came to see us tonight live.
Call back.
Watch your head right there, see? I need y'all to scroll up for me. Miss Latoya joined. Hey, Miss Latoya, how you doing?
Hi.
Patrice, Barbara,
Megan, Georgia.
Lori, Miss Hogglebrook. Right, we got Malcolm down at the bottom.
I ain't trouble.
What's up, Malcolm? Hey, you can scroll up a little bit for me. I see a Ellen.
Down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's up as far as he can go. That must be all we got tonight. Hey, listen, thank you folks for being with us. It means a lot that you're here, and we hope you enjoy the show. We'd like for you to share it with somebody. You know, share it with somebody and just put the word of positivity out. You know, it's just not enough positivity going on in the world. So we hope you can do that for us, and we'll continue to just bring you just great dialogue here in the studio. I guess we couldn't get Brother Jamal on right now, so maybe we ought to just dive into the topic just a little bit.
Talk about this already?
I want to start to see. I think the best part of our dialogue always happens the second half of the show, right?
Oh yeah,
because we get the surface dialogue out the way, the stuff that just comes to everybody's mind. We get that out of the way, but at the end we start to get into some stuff that becomes core, you know. So yeah.
Miss you early.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
We can't hold the CEO like that. We gotta get her voice said early. She said she can't be holding on like that.
Listen,
You know,
get the
man, her
CEO,
time is valuable. So what we gonna do?
Absolutely.
Since
man.
Jamal couldn't get on, we're gonna get her opinion on this on the upfront from a different point of view. So tell everybody about yourself. That way everybody be more comfortable with you. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank
Yes,
you.
welcome. If you can't hear yourself in the mic, the audience can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
A
you
little
now.
closer, a little louder,
Let me get you.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Oh,
a little better. Project. All right. So glad to have you tonight.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And
Shout out to my manager.
okay. Tell us about that. You want to say a few words on that note?
No.
No.
Okay. Listen. So we have Miss Leslie in the house. She is CEO of RTSE Casting Company.
Mm-hmm.
And I am very interested in hearing more about that because I don't know anything. I seen an acronym for RTSE. What is that?
Raising the Standard Entertainment.
That's right.
Raising the standard in entertainment.
She raising the bar.
Raising the bar.
It's been known for the entertainment not to be that right, but we won't talk about that tonight.
Yes. Yeah. So you're in the entertainment business.
I am.
Okay, what do you do?
I'm a casting director and producer. Film
Wow.
and television.
Film and television.
Craft, she told you she'd give you her pose. She tried to tell you early on.
Wow.
I called that hit.
Oh, she got a closet full of hoes.
What? Yeah, she tried to give you
She
what?
got all kind of props.
She said, while you imagine, she created.
So, tell us about your company.
So I've been casting film and television since 2006 here in Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm an implant from Philadelphia.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay.
Got here on the dare,
Okay.
off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hear me?
Hold on. She lost the bet.
I
That's the
lost
only
the
reason.
bet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I got here.
We doing that again with your ass.
And listen, and do you think, this is a very interesting question, do you think that losing the bet was a part of your fate?
Absolutely. Because I wouldn't have came here otherwise.
I like. Does that mean you're a risk taker?
Absolutely.
She got
Absolutely.
me.
As an entrepreneur. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I guess that is major.
Even that is shit is
major
crazy.
risk-taking.
Crazy.
I've been called that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
So tell us about your work, your company. You know, how do you do what you do?
Oh, okay. A lot. That's a lot. So I've been casting since 2006. I kind of happenstance into film and television here in Atlanta.
Mhm.
But one thing I will say is everything in this industry is all about relationships.
Okay.
So whether you want your grind, you have to have a good attitude, be nice to people, be respectful of yourself and others.
Okay.
But this is a relationship-based industry.
Yes, it is.
So it's, one person, they connect you, and that's just how it kept manifesting.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And, I got to treat it like a novice because our audience may not have an idea, but what is casting?
so there's a couple of things that casting is, but what I do is I find talent actors for film and television commercials. So those are the people that when you watch a movie that you see on the film.
So you would be like a talent person. You find talent.
Yes.
Ah,
I
okay.
put them into film.
Okay.
But it's the
okay.
difference between an agent and a casting director.
Okay.
An agent is a person that works for the talent. I don't work for the talent.
Okay. You work for
I work for the production
the
company.
production company.
And
Okay.
doing the film.
So they say, we have this film coming. We're going to need X, Y, and Z. We need a farmer. We need a doctor.
Exactly.
And you recommend. So that means you probably have this big pool of artists to pull from, or
Yes.
actors, actresses to pull from, right?
And I do. I'm holding an open casting call on the 7th.
Okay.
Oh no, the 10th of August, actually,
Okay.
for this particular film that I'm working on now called Forget to Remember.
Forget to remember.
Girl, I need to go for that one because I be forgetting all the time. Shit, this is real. I can do that. How about that? You ain't got to interview me here. Listen to the show.
Forget to remember. That's
Forget to remember.
That's
Yes.
very interesting. Very
I
interesting.
remember and I just forgot.
So-
I need that job.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the artists that you have that you pulled from, or you worked with.
So I've done different types of projects. So when you say artists, to me, that's people in music.
Okay.
So last year, in 2017, 2018, I did a show called Hip Hop 40,
Okay.
where we brought in artists to interview. So we
Mhm.
brought in Big Daddy Kane. So when you say
Yeah.
artists,
Yes.
that's what I'm thinking. Big
Right.
Daddy Kane,
Right.
artists, music.
Right. See,
I like
and this is great. This is great stuff because we on the outside of that industry, we're clueless about that language. Like when you say casting, I'm like, yeah, that's
I heard
great.
casting.
we know what it is, but we don't know what they do. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
there are probably a lot of people who don't know what they do. You know, I'm 50 years old. You know, I'm still trying to learn the industry. So that's good. So I say artists because I put actors and actresses and all those people in the artist category.
Right.
But any other familiar heads that you may have worked with in the past?
I mean, name dropping is not my thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna be.
I'm asking
keep
you
it
to name
100.
drop. You know?
I don't know if it's a Philly thing. I just don't get into the whole name dropping. I have worked on a lot of projects. I have worked with a lot of people who have studios in this city.
Okay.
People who are on stage, people who are on major television shows
Yes,
now,
yes.
in movies that are being seen on, in the theater.
Right.
I work with a lot of people.
It sounds like just your role in and of itself may be kind of a doorway for somebody who might be interested in entering the industry. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I hold open casting calls.
Okay.
See, and to meet new talent that haven't been discovered yet.
So when they come to this open casting call, they'll be reading scripts. They'll be performing
based off of the sides.
Okay.
Which is a small part of the script, just for that character.
Okay. The sides.
Yeah, that part.
I like that. Yeah.
Put it around the side of my
I like that. Listening,
Because I'm going to forget all the time.
Yeah.
You got to remind me.
Forget to remember. That is
Remember to forget.
I gotta meditate on that one a little bit.
I ain't got to
I'm
meditate.
excited about it.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
It's a love adventure.
Okay.
A
A love adventure.
Oh, I know I'm good for that role.
You think of Moonlighting cinematically, and then you think of the Green Book, of how the two guys went on the journey together.
Okay.
It's similar to that.
Two guys.
Nice. So,
The chauffeur
right.
and the gentleman he was driving.
Right.
Oh, this makes sense
Journey
now.
that the two
We
guys
in the ATL. This much clear. I was about to say, I ain't happy for that.
You gotta watch this one right here. He'll turn anything.
I'm good with that.
I'm just saying. This little, I'm in ATL. Clarity
He'll
makes
turn
me know.
anything. Yeah. So, maybe just a little out of the box question, but tell us about your vision. Where are you headed in life? Where are you headed? What do you want your work to produce?
So that's two different questions. Where am I headed is one different question from producing what I want to produce. So I'm on, my life is about peace.
Okay.
I meditate every day. I don't allow certain, outside influences to dictate how I feel or how I move.
Okay.
My life is about peace. This is my second half of life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'll be 50 in January and I'm excited about it.
Okay.
So I'm, my grandmother, God rest her soul, just passed away at 94, and I learned a lot from her.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't want to have to get to 94 to be able to get what she was saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talked about it earlier. You can learn through wisdom or you can learn through experience. And experience is a lot heavier and it's a lot longer.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember my grandmother, even my great-grandmother, was pouring into me at a young age. And I remember she was a stronghold too, very early in life. So powerful, powerful. Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience tonight? Is there some message you came with? Is there a request, or you'd like to share, how people can reach you, or you got a focus outside of the business that you're passionate about?
Children.
Oh.
So I'm actually working with Wise Intelligent and a whole team of people to work with our inner city kids and teaching them how to create content and produce films. And it's going to be every weekend from almost, August until next year.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you that's supernatural.
Yeah.
She said she's teaching people how to write film, how to write movies,
How to create movies.
movies.
From nuts and bolts. How to write scripts, how to work cameras, how to do audio. We're teaching the children who are tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
How to create
The opposite of what school doing now.
Entrepreneurs.
Giving them a real future. Because they took everything else out. You need to add everything in.
But you got to shout out to Rap Snacks. Their vision and their dream. What they're doing in the community is amazing.
What are they doing?
The project I just talked to you about, that's being powered by Rap Snacks.
See what I mean?
So they have a whole foundational piece to their business.
Nice.
Google that, y'all. Cause Google it, find out.
Yeah.
We got it from the CEO. We talking from the head, y'all.
Yes.
Find out. And let's see if we can support.
Shout out to Wise, Stacy, Stephanie. It's so many people that are doing some amazing things in the city on different levels.
Yes.
My team over at Forget to Remember Movie. doing some amazing things. So.
Listen, we can't wait to see the project, and
I'm
you
looking
are
forward to it.
always welcome back to the studio. You know, come in and
always like
you know, if you have an agenda or not, you're always welcome.
Thank you. I love your question for this evening. It's pretty interesting.
Well, and you know what? Since we got a little time, I'd really love you to elaborate a little bit for me, because you know we got a few minutes before we get back. Actually, we got a couple minutes before we get back into our next break.
I'm gonna give it a couple months.
Yeah. The question for tonight, folks, is how do you confess your love to someone? What would you say to that?
Well, first of all, you gotta be strong in your resolve before you do it.
Okay.
Because you have to be willing to take both ends of the extreme of how somebody will respond.
Okay.
If you can deal with rejection, if you're okay to say, you know what, if they reject me, I'm cool, then you're good. If you can say, if that opens up a door to something else, then you gotta be good with that. So you gotta be able to balance before you step to somebody like that. Be able to expect the unexpected, but be okay with whatever comes.
Yes. Now, what I hear, the scenario I hear you putting together is kind of the first time you say it. You know what I mean? Like
Practicing in the closet.
No. Like
you just get it. You just say it.
like you dating somebody, right? So you dating somebody, you get to know them, and you know maybe been together a month or 2 months or 6 months, and nobody said it yet, but you know somebody's got to say it, or somebody's gonna say it. Somebody's starting to feel it. You got to make sure your resolve is strong.
It's a difference.
I'm sorry, say again.
You can love people and not be in love with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what are you really saying?
I'm asking you.
I'm just saying I love you
Right.
in Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't love you like how I love that.
You know what I mean?
You ain't hitting that spot,
What
bro.
are we really talking about? You know what? It's so funny because we were in the car and we were talking about this, and I said, well, I've said something to somebody, but I just said to them, you know, I used to have a crush on you.
Okay.
And, you know, when a woman walks up to a man and just out of the clear blue, just be like, you know, I used to have a crush on you, and just walks away, that just really can mess with your head.
Right. Or vice versa, yeah.
Absolutely.
It definitely can if I was interested and I want to know, you know, where that could have went. You know, but if you wasn't something I was, oh hell no, that was.
But that's the thing.
You had a crush.
That's what I said.
So
you
you
had to be open for if he was interested or if he wasn't.
So what was your intentions of saying that to
I
him?
just had to get it out because he still look good.
She wanted to see what kind of chances she had.
So listen.
Trying to get some motion in the ocean.
We getting down to the real here now.
I know this.
You planted that seed, right?
Yeah.
For a reason?
Because I wanted them to know.
Just know?
Yeah.
Just know when you walk away.
No, she was interested. No,
That don't make sense to me.
It does.
It
I
don't
mean,
real.
because at the end of the day,
Nah.
we in a whole. I live in a whole nother state.
So,
he lives in a whole nother state.
So,
But I just had to say it. You know, I had been holding on to that since undergraduate school, and I wanted to say it, so I said it. It ain't have to be an ulterior motive. I wanted you to know.
Okay.
How did it go though? Yeah, I got
We still
Bar
friends.
we gonna go deep up in this bad boy.
See,
We wanna know what kind of friends are you?
I'm of the notion.
No, we just friends.
That
We're closer friends, but we're not intimate friends. If that's what you're getting at.
I mean, Jay wouldn't. Hell yeah, Jay was nosy as hell.
That's what he was. Is he still here?
Yeah, you know, he
communication though. It did.
I mean, that's what I was wondering because to me, that's what it sounded like you was trying to say. Is how deep can it get? So he was like, I had a crush on you.
But I really did have a like he looked good.
Listen, listen.
Like, you know, some of y'all men get stomachs and y'all let yourself go. Just like
I mean,
women do.
you really just got a point.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
And he hadn't quite let himself go.
Right.
I wanted to
See,
let
looking
him go.
sharp.
Listen.
Looking good.
Listen.
I had a crush on her.
But I
So
did.
there were multiple ulterior motives in that comment, huh?
But the
Not
most one was he was still in
Say
shape, still looking good.
Yeah.
And she felt like
And then I got my happy ass back on the plane and went back to the plane.
Oh yeah. Wonder if he's gonna fly back to find you.
Yeah, like you know what I've been thinking about you tonight.
I know, girl. You ain't saying nothing. Jay know. She waiting on that. Okay, let's see.
The next time I see him, I'm gonna put it in work. That's some of that 5-year work.
Because I pick you up. We might not come to this place, but we gonna go somewhere.
Yes. The next time I see him at the convention, we're gonna talk about the real thing, right?
Ain't no talking.
Yeah. Listen.
Not putting that out.
It is time for us to go to break. I guess it's gonna be. Are you gonna stay with us tonight? Are you with us? Are you about to leave us? Okay. She's gonna be with us tonight.
She said,
okay, yeah, because we need a woman's perspective, and this is good, wholesome stuff. So we're gonna take a break. You folks stay tuned. We're gonna come back. We should have the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey on tonight, and you know he always puts it down. So y'all hold on. We'll be right back after this.
Yay! In the place with my special guest giving her side and her views.
Yeah, listen.
Talking about that one she had confessed her stuff to.
I did.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready.
I never said.
He wasn't ready.
I never said.
That's why you got back on the plane.
No, I had to come into work.
Oh.
Listen, I never said.
Oh, so
what I
you would
was-
have stayed.
No.
Then it wasn't worth it.
We good friends.
Still a good friend. So
We
there's a
make
possibility.
money together. That's all that matters to me.
I'm still gonna make money, but you can make honey. It's all in that bee in that cave. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to
Listen,
tell you.
I never finished saying what I wanted to say,
Oh, okay,
which
what
was
was
that,
Mm-hmm.
in one way or another, we are all salespeople.
Absolutely.
And so when you planted that seed, you was selling, right? So, you know, you just got to figure out what he was trying to buy.
I wasn't selling.
You know, you weren't trying to close him,
Nope.
but, you know what I'm saying, you was trying to introduce, it's called suggestive selling, right?
So you tell me, what was I suggesting?
Listen, what more could you be suggesting than think about me?
It sounded like she
Thinking
was
about
working
you.
on
I'm
celibate,
planting a little seed.
but she was selling a little bit.
Like, you know,
Gotta offer it up. You know what I'm saying?
thinking you boy.
Do you really want a piece of this cookie?
You better be glad I ain't
You
got
know,
more
do you
time.
want to wrap this prettiness? You just
That's
sound
what
like
you
to
was
me.
selling. Yeah, that's good. That's good
That's
stuff.
from the mind of a man.
You supposed to be
That right, that right, that
That's
right.
not what I was doing.
It might not have been
Because at the end of the day,
you casting.
I wasn't casting a man.
Yeah, that's how you, girl. You a damn good actress.
I mean, you know, we women look at men like when y'all walk away just like y'all look at us.
Right?
Oh, wait a minute, wait. I like that. Snitch.
I like that too.
Tell me more. When you look,
I like a
and you
man in
walking
some
away.
jeans. Don't wear khakis around me. I'm not looking.
Oh, you want the jeans?
I like a man with jeans.
Levi's. I mean, what kind? I mean,
hold on.
shit, I'm trying to find out.
I want to get deep in this. I like this.
But at the end of the day, we look at men just like y'all look at women. Just like y'all be looking at ours, whatever, we look at y'all too.
That's good.
So,
The print.
That's good.
it ain't nothing, just like y'all like to watch us walk, we like to watch y'all walk too. And just like y'all tell us stuff, and then we be like, what the hell?
So yeah,
We do the same thing. So,
that's kind of what I'm
it's-
talking about.
it's
Men and women,
Listen, if
same damn
if a man walks up to you and says, "This sure is a pretty dress you got on,"
I get it all the time.
and he walks away,
Thank you.
and he walks away,
Before I say thank you or after.
either way, when he walks away, what do you think?
He was right.
Ooh, sis, he was
He was right.
But do you
It
look
was a
though?
pretty dress, that's why I bought it.
Well, that man wasn't
What?
thinking about your dress.
Look.
Wake up.
No. The question
He was
is,
trying to tell you you look good.
It is.
He just put it on the dress,
Right? When he kept walking is what you said.
just like you did. What's the message? That's the point I'm trying to make.
Right? So when you said, what do I think? I think he's right. Yeah, this is a pretty dress. He didn't stop for me to think anything else. He got good taste, and I'm keeping it moving just like he did.
do
Okay.
you look back?
Nope.
To
See,
see,
I would-
to see
listen,
when he had a print
now listen,
in them jeans, because he had jeans on. He had them
It
jeans.
This is-
depends on what the wrapping look
The
like.
wrapping look good now.
Listen, I'm
Jeaned up.
just
But-
gonna.
And if I want to engage the conversation, I might say, well, you look nice too.
Oh, so
But it just depends.
So watch this.
I'm not shy by no stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
No, we
yeah.
need that non-shyness
Yeah.
because you snitching in the heart.
If I could just take a guess
Uh-huh.
at what he might have been thinking, the gentleman who you spoke to,
He was
and
like,
you said I had a
"Damn,
crush on you. Like he was starting to think. I'm gonna tell you what happened in
I
his
know what
mind.
happened in
He
his
went
mind.
back to the time frame that y'all was together,
Yeah.
and he said to himself, "I slipped so bad. I should have hollered at her that night. I should have hollered at her that night." Man, I didn't even know she was feeling like that.
Right.
Man, I got to, man, you got to have a little more confidence in yourself, man. I'm telling you, you could have, I've been looking at her for years. I didn't even tell her that I had a crush on her
That's what he
too.
said, but it
And
was
then-
his opportunity.
And then he probably went on, he had a picture of you somewhere,
No,
electronically or
that's
something, and he went to look at the picture and he was just looking at you and he was thinking to
He saw me a
himself,
whole weekend. He
Yeah.
had to look at my picture.
yeah. Well, I'm telling you what happens, the aftermath of what you sold, right? When you planted that seed, he started thinking about you. He might have started longing for you. You know what I'm saying?
He
You might have
got long,
been,
had long
in one of
weekends.
some of his wet dreams. You know what I mean? Just by
There was some
simply saying that, hey, I had a crush on you. You know what I mean? He may be thinking about you like that.
Hold on, fellas.
What's that? It sound like there's a whole lot going on. That's what it sound like to me over here.
Okay, so
There's a whole
y'all
weekend.
just read one. Hold
Oh
on.
yeah, we
Yeah.
waiting on you.
Men
I'm very clear.
How men
In
think.
my pursuits,
Yeah.
I'm very clear when
Uh-huh.
I say something.
Mhm.
If I wanted to mess up his mind, I could have went a whole lot deeper.
Right.
I just said to him,
Right.
I had a crush on you
Right.
when we was in school.
Right.
It was just that simple.
she put
And
a place
it
on it.
wasn't all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He still looks good,
Right.
and it was a compliment to him.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And that's all we left there.
Now, if I really wanted to mess his head
What
up, I
you
could have
say?
said a whole lot of other
I
stuff.
want to hear
What
what
you
the
might
hell you
say.
could have said.
What you
That
say.
right there.
Yeah.
That right there. That's
See
worth
how you treat
talking about.
This is a radio show. Our audience
Yeah, come
would
on, you
love
can't
to
hold
hear.
back now.
It ain't for
See,
us,
yo.
it's for them.
I mean, I could have said a number of things.
Just
I
give
could
us
have
one
been
of
like, man, you fucked up.
I don't think that's gonna help the situation.
Twice on Sundays. But you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
could've
yeah.
said, you can say a whole lot.
Yeah, we know. We in the game.
But
We in the
I
game.
knew, I mean, it's a level of respect that I have for him.
Right.
Because I don't know his situation.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
did?
hadn't seen him in years. Absolutely. I
Okay.
hadn't seen him in maybe 15, 16 years.
But if it was a situation that was open and nice.
You probably would have hollered
I
at him.
really definitely would have.
Okay, okay.
But
okay.
it's
Now
about
listen.
respect.
Now listen.
But the respect is, again, I mean, you didn't know and you just left it like that. But
Right.
Again.
But I mean, so the more the conversation is, well, damn, really? Man, you wasn't paying me no attention. But yeah, I was.
So what
And the
I-
dialogue goes back and forth. But at the end of the day, you find out where they are in their lives.
So what I just said to you, that whole imaginary thought process that I had, that's how a man's mind works.
hold on.
And that's how a man thinks. And I can probably tell you he entertained some of those thoughts. I'm sure he
Look at his
did.
face when I walk away.
All the men in the room waving their hands.
We got to hold up real quick. We got to get back to this in a little bit later because we do got that man
He's calling
that
him
might
on.
change your whole day. We got Jeffrey on the line. And I hope he gonna have a good day because we hear him for a minute.
Been looking
But we
forward
had to
to
do this. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, Brother Kraft, how's it going, fellas?
Man,
You doing it, man?
it is lovely, bro. Good to hear you. You sound like you are fired up tonight, huh?
Man, I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Everything copacetic,
Oh,
everything
it's
good?
copacetic, man. We can hear you.
Lovely. Everything is lovely, man. How you been, man? How you been?
Brother Jay, Brother Kraft, I have been well. Everything's good in the A. It was raining like it was the last days earlier, but
Right.
you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it is time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now listen, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single, but before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you go first.
All right.
All right, ladies, some of you are single simply because you are an incredible woman, but you are a horrible mate. What I mean to say to you ladies is this. You got all these degrees. You got this high-paying job. You're doing good for yourself. But when it comes to being a good partner, a good relationship partner, you ain't you ain't nothing. Here's what I mean, ladies. You can't be with a guy and think everything is about you. You can't be in a relationship and try to angle things to work out for your benefit. The relationship ain't just about you. The relationship is about the we. So every waking moment that I have is going to be dedicated to making the relationship better for you. And every every waking minute that you have should be about making the relationship better for me.
Right.
But what happens though, you get a little educated and you lose sight of that. And once we discover that you in the relationship for yourself, well, we leave your ass single and by yourself.
For a very long time. Ouchie, woo woo. That rain is pissing you off.
Yeah.
We need it to get back sunny. There's a lot of women that might not want to wear that shoe. I can understand. But the bottom line is, if we don't understand what we do,
right,
we'll keep on repeating what we do. And no one need to be lonely over a bad judgment call.
Yeah, and the first thing that came to my mind is, are those women who have become successful and may have spent so much time alone. When they finally meet somebody, and they finally come into the company of the right guy or the right people, they just have their ways set about them. You know, they can't seem to think about team, and they may think about self. And men, you know, this is equally important to men as well. You you're very successful. You've been by yourself a long time, and I've just seen a lot of men who, you know, they couldn't really be a good mate. So I know we're talking about the ladies here, but being single too long can cause people to get set in their ways.
Well, we got a lady sitting right next to us. Let's just answer her.
I don't think so. I mean, it depends on time, I guess. But when you say set in her ways, what are her ways? She like to cook. She know how to be a servant. She wanna, you know what I mean?
We're talking about selfishness in terms
But
of
not
men.
every woman is like that. And not every single woman is like that.
Right. Well, he talking to the women who are like that.
Yeah.
That's,
But he looked at me and I'm like, look,
Hey.
I'm single sister.
Yeah,
James can't say it.
They about their
You'll see,
business,
you
but
know.
they about taking care of their men.
Right.
So,
Right.
I just want to
as
know.
far as you know. Yeah.
Two sides, every
yeah,
fence.
sure.
Three.
And Jay
actually.
want to know, because I don't ride. I want to know.
Yeah.
You better know, yeah.
See, we gonna figure it out
Listen,
tomorrow.
I love the perspective, Brother Jeffrey. I'm gonna let's hand it back
But
over
I
to
do
you.
know some bitter Jones too.
Oh,
That's what we're talking about right
Snitching now.
Yeah, I do know some bitter Jones. I do.
Okay. And back to you, Brother Jeffrey.
All right, man. That's some chocolate y'all got sitting next to y'all. Good.
Oh,
I don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas,
That's what we do.
you on next.
Okay.
All right, fellas. So y'all asses are single simply because you don't know what real men do.
Right.
You ain't got no clue what a real man does in a real man situation. You still running around old as hell trying to get the next pair of Jordans. Don't have a single pair of hard bottom shoes. Don't even have a good suit you can wear anywhere. Fellas, I need you to understand there is a point where young men used to look up to the grown men in the neighborhood and pattern themselves after the grown men in the neighborhood. Right now, the men that are in the neighborhood are looking at the kids and trying to dress like the damn kids. Then they're expecting a woman to want to partner with you and submit to you. Jigga, what? That ain't how it's supposed to be. I need you to understand something, fellas. There's a level of protection that you should be providing to your woman. And when you give that protection to your woman, she's able to let go of that masculine energy she has to carry. I can promise you she's sick of carrying it too. So the minute that you give her that opportunity, through protection, to let her become feminine again, she'll put that loving on you like you ain't had in your whole entire life, because you on that little boy stuff. You don't get that grown man loving. You get that little boy stuff because the grown man loving will blow your damn mind. So step your game up, fellas. Let your masculinity lead you to the path of righteousness. Lead your woman, protect your woman, and stop playing these games. Failure to do so will keep your ass young-minded, and single.
All I gotta say is my guest hit the damn table so hard. You're a little violent, ain't you?
Oh, he was
I'm about to-
freaking. That was a word.
I don't know what it was.
That
y'all.
was a word
I was
right
about to
there.
bring your ass up on charges.
That was a word.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm starting to notice something about you. You lean to one side. You ain't want to take the other side. We was talking about the women, but you want to tattle me and ass up.
She feel it.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you, right? This
I've
is
been
a talk
doing
show.
that the whole time
We go
she
in.
been on air.
Yeah.
And it's
Listen.
very clear she's a damn good actress. You might want to watch what you dealing with right here.
Listen, I
player.
was told by the best.
Right. I really like that part where he said, used to, long time ago, the young men would look at the grown men and try to model themselves after him. Now, I remember going to, it looked like the Trap, but it wasn't. It was just a big tree where the old fellas used to hang out, drink wine, hang out, play cards. All of those guys, whether it was clean or not, all of those guys had on a dress shirt, they had on a brim, they had on blazers, they had on slacks, they have on alligator shoes, they be half wore out, but they have on alligator shoes. That's the model. So when I'm 6, 7, and 8, I got a blazer on, a hat, a nice dress shirt. That's how I learned to grow. That's how I learned to live. But can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine a child nowadays, a young person nowadays, looking at their young fathers, right?
Pants falling down.
Yeah, man. And
Tight skinny jeans.
Yeah, one of the other.
Look like they got easy effect.
Right.
My bad.
Listen, bro. One of the other visions that came into my mind was, we oftentimes see now a very attractive, classy-looking lady. Her outfit, her makeup, she's classy. You know what I'm saying? Not overdone, not trying to show too much. She's just there. But the dude she with is like out on drop jeans, and you know what I'm saying, he t-shirted out, and you know what I mean. She might have settled. I never want to take for granted the intelligence of that young man, because that young man might blow our minds away. I don't take anything for granted, but it just seemed like the look makes it look like the man just really don't know what a real man's supposed to look
Let's
like.
keep it 100.
You know what I mean?
Settled. No.
Yeah.
Because if he's doing those things, or if he's something else,
Okay.
he's gonna portray that in his dress, because he wants you to know what he's doing and where his integrity lies and what his goals are.
But if he's never been exposed to a man who wear a nice dress slack and a dress shoe,
You can't
he's
say
not.
that anymore.
If
you
he's not,
Google anything.
no, but you can't.
I
You
hear
can't.
men say-
People don't raise people. You know
I've
what I
had
mean?
men say, I didn't know how to be a father because I didn't have one. Let me say something. I had to shout out almost every dude I went to middle school with, high school with. We friends on Facebook. I see them when I go home. They are hella fathers. And a lot of them was raised by single mothers. So that is not an excuse
Right.
that you didn't see.
Right.
These joints, my homies, I give them all props. Whether they still married, single, divorced, but they taking care of their kids. And they never saw that from a man.
Right.
So we can't say
We can't
anymore,
say. That's
just
right.
because you don't see it,
Right.
you can't do it.
You just exemplified my point. Just because they wearing drop.
I didn't see being
just-
an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
but I'm doing it.
Just because they wearing drop jeans don't mean that they don't know. Don't mean they ain't on their grind. Don't mean they couldn't put a computer back together and program it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, these cats are supernaturally fire now. They really are smart. They are smart, but they may not have pulled some of that, what real men do and what real men look like, into today's world. And so, we have to have some empathy, but a lot of them are missing the mark. I'm sorry.
But I'm gonna have fun with it. Because you gotta remember, I might have my pants hanging down and that might be my error. That's how I feel, right?
Right.
I meet that right woman, I buy my cars and my clothes for the people I want to meet.
Right.
So I promise you, if I meet that one that's special to me, and my pants was saying wouldn't be sagging no more.
Yeah.
Because she's
I like
gonna
that.
express to me
Yeah.
Right. That's
a
my
concern
goal.
of hers,
Right.
because I see you further. You don't need
That's
to be
good.
entertaining
That's
a child's dream
That's really
when
good.
you're a man.
Right.
And you need to be in your man figure form. Because again, I'm not talking about the ones that do it. Do you? That's your business.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, when you with that right one, they'll help align you.
Right.
And they don't want to see you making the generation look crazier than what it is. You got more in you than your genes. That look, that Gucci belt and all that stuff that y'all want to portray, show you.
Yeah.
The inner you will outshine all that. That's why we know about other things.
There you go.
Somebody else showed you something. Show us you.
There you go. And with that, Brother Jeffrey, we'll turn it back over to you. You can see you got us fired up here tonight, man.
Boy, that's some chocolate y'all got next to y'all. I need y'all to understand. I need y'all to feel me. All right, ladies. It's okay to be educated. It's okay to be credentialed, degreed, and to be financially set. That's okay. Men, it's okay to want to hold on to your youth and live with a youthful exuberance. That's okay. The thing that's not okay is this focus on self. Women focused on building themselves up. Men focused on holding on to their youth forever, but nobody's focused on the family. We gotta stop being so self-absorbed. We got to get back to family because there is no structure, no enterprise that is more important for our neighborhoods than the family.
Yes.
Because in the family, you can help to build a business with the family resources.
Yes.
You can build up entrepreneurial spirit. You can build up mathematical spirit. You can build up scientific spirit in the family. You can also build up spirits of division by staying on your own side of the fence. So men and women, we got to start talking to each other to understand each other.
Yes.
We got to start working with each other to build things together. We got to start loving on each other to build these homes back up, to give a good, stable foundation for our children to see. The boys will see what men do, the girls will see what women will do, and the community will get back to the we part, the unity part in community. Once we get there, it's going to be something awesome to observe. And that's all I got.
Oh, that's all.
Man, that's a mouthful.
All. Okay.
That's a mouthful.
All I can say is, wow.
Yeah, that was super
He
powerful.
did that.
That was super powerful. I don't think I've ever heard unity in community. I never heard unity in community. That's
Unity and community.
yeah. That's something powerful, man. Brother Jeffrey, we only got a couple moments here before we go to break. Tonight we're talking about how do you confess your love to someone? Open question.
Boy, that's some chocolate right next to you. Right there.
Can you say it again?
All you got to do, if you gonna confess your love, put it out there. Now here's the thing, fellas, don't be dumb about it. Don't say I love you so much and I want to hit that. That ain't gonna work. Make it known that you got plans for this woman. I got plans for you. I see a future with you, and here is how I want you to go there with me. Ladies, do you want a man to really get to know you and want to get involved with you? Show him the vision. Show him how you can help build him, but don't give him everything up front. Give him some things that he has to work for, some levels of attainment to the cookie. I need you to understand that professing your love is only difficult when you're scared to do it. But once you take that first step, that first commitment, that first conversation, man, everything will flow like water.
Yes. Well put, man. Everybody here is just kind of in awe. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Mike look like he ready to say something.
No, who is not?
That was good. You got something to say, man? Okay. Yeah, that was good, man. That was good. He showed her plans and she showed him how she's going to build.
It sounds like you put that seed. Chocolate. Put that chocolate. That chocolate. Like, I like that deep. This is you, Jeffrey. Chocolate. What? I'm just saying. I don't know what you did to that last one, but it looked like Jeffrey jumped right on. I'm just saying.
So, Brother Jeffrey,
he gave you a break.
We appreciate everything you bring to the table.
Chocolate thunder.
Every week, man. You always seem to give us a greater vision of ourselves, and particularly the fellas and the ladies. And we're just grateful for your participation, man. Anything you'd like to say before we get out of here tonight?
Boy, that's some chocolate y'all got.
Say it one more time, Jerry. One more time. I swear for love. One more time.
No, fellas, we good, man. It's always good to talk to y'all, man. I'm sorry that I come on a little bit later, but, man, my commitment is to always make the show, man, as much as I can. So I'm down with you.
We got it, man. We got it, and we appreciate you, bro. Have a nice week, man, and we'll look to hear from you next Thursday.
All right, later on.
Okay. All right, folks. It is time for us to take another break. As you can see, Brother Jeffrey bring it so hard every week. And I'm hearing more and more comments on his portion of the show. He just seems to bring something that we all need to hear. And being humility and sometimes being mashed on a little bit is good for our spirit. And he certainly knows how to bring in, how to tighten the bolts of reality and maybe allow us to take a better look at ourselves. So we appreciate Brother Jeffrey. We're going to go ahead and take this break. We'll be back with more Bar Talk with Jay. We're going in on the subject when we come back. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right. We moving on to welcome. Hey, turn me up. Where you at now? I can't hear myself. All right, we back with Bar Talk with Jay.
There you go.
The things I want to make sure I do is I had a contest and no one really knew about it. All right. And I want to hear myself. All right, we back with Bar Talk with Jay.
There you go.
I want to make sure I ain't asked for that. All right. So one of the things I was trying to do is back to school drive. And here in Atlanta, school in Cobb County started back already, right?
Right.
I wanted to make sure some people came out and did some things for the kids.
Okay.
We did it last year, and this year we threw it out there, and nobody really responded.
Okay.
I'm not looking for celebrities. I'm looking for people that's local. Bottom line is, you look for somebody big because that's what you see. It's the people right next to you make the difference in you.
Right.
In Macon, Georgia, down there where my girl Barbara is, they stood out. She went to the stores. They gave. She was telling people what we was doing here in Atlanta, and they did down in Macon. So she was like, we're doing all this in Macon, so guess what? Let's try to take it and take some of the stuff here and bring it up to Atlanta. No, we don't take nothing from Macon. When the little company come together like Macon, Georgia, and they do big things, we ain't bring it to Atlanta. I'm asking Atlanta, what happened to Atlanta?
Okay.
Atlanta need to wake the hell up. All the celebrities and all that, I ain't asking for you. All you business owners know these kids going back to school. We have to get back to our community.
Yes.
We have to do bigger things and quit looking for some big names to do it. It just takes a person that cares. I care enough that my kids been out of school for 10 years.
Right.
Grandkids up in there.
Right.
All right? And I'm just looking for somebody to give enough compassion to make sure everybody got a clear book bag. Whatever it takes to make sure they get this education. Now, we won't talk about the education and everything that goes on. But the most important thing, let's make sure they get the best opportunity possible.
Absolutely.
And I really feel like sometimes we get so caught up, we don't.
Yeah. And
so Macon, Georgia did their thing. We're doing great things. I think it's the 5th from 5 to 7. Book bags, we're doing supplies, we're doing great things. People that didn't donate last year, donating more this year. And again, it's off the strength. Again, Barbara is down there. She met somebody. She didn't get their names. She mentioned their store. I'm going to get back to their store. Bottom line is, down there in Macon, they care enough. And all I ask is a challenge. How in the hell, I got family from Macon, Georgia. Did Macon, Georgia outshine Atlanta?
Right.
I have an issue with that. Maybe it's part of what I did. I don't know. But I take any responsibility, but I still got names down there, and my name is on that one. So I'm doing something. I'm asking everybody to sitting back, wondering and questioning, what are you doing?
I'm hoping that it's just only your exposure. I'm hoping there's a lot more going on maybe that we just don't know about. But I like the challenge, Jay. And I'm encouraging all you families, all you folks who are out doing school shopping for your children, buy an extra book bag, buy some extra pencils, buy some extra paper. Send it home, send it to school with the neighbor next door who happens to be a teacher or works at the school. We all can do something, right? You can do something, and we're just encouraging you to do that. There is a lot of need out there. I often talk about how The world is segmented into three parts. There's government, there's private enterprise, and then there's not-for-profit. And not-for-profit, our world wouldn't be the same if the not-for-profit weren't there. Because the not-for-profit provides service to the world. That's their primary agenda, is to serve our communities. And so, it's important to give, especially when you reach a point where you can give, because I think that's what the man upstairs really wants us to do. He's pouring out blessings for us day in and day out. We should be like him in his likeness and image and pour out blessings for other people. And, I'm a big giver. There's nothing for me to pull a 20 or 50 out of my pocket and hand it to somebody on the street who may be asking for help, And it was when I've had an opportunity to look in people's face after I walked away. I'm sitting in my car and I can just see how they respond. I've seen several of them just thanking the Lord, for what just happened. You never know when a dollar, a book bag, or whatever might help somebody. Let's find a way to pour into our communities. Let's find a way to pour into our communities. All right. So
I gotta make a correction real quick.
Go ahead.
It looks like here, Barbara had it written down for me. I missed it. August the 2nd.
August the
From
2nd.
5 to 7.
Okay.
Down in Macon, Georgia. Barbara is doing this big thing. And again, there's a lot of people that's hosting and doing things for me. And again, Barbara's mama, I gotta give her shouts out. One of the things I gotta say, Betty Jean, boy, I tell you, she do more than a little bit. But she been giving to the community, been doing great things down there in Macon. And she always had my back. So one of the things I want to make sure is I give a shout out to Barbara's whole family and everybody that she was supporting and doing things, because they shouted out and did more this year than again I seen here in Atlanta. It's not to put Atlanta down. I just put the challenge out that these family members came together and they cared enough for somebody that's in the neighborhood. We got to get back to that. One of the things I have a problem with is you don't even know your neighbor half the time. You're too busy. You so much on the run that you feel like it's not necessary. They're right next to you.
Right.
And if you don't know them, then you just moved in. I wanted to be here, but I don't want to be a part of. My whole thing is be here for a reason.
Right.
Plant a seed, and that's what makes the change. And again, that's what I noticed there. And that's in Macon. I need to see it here in Atlanta.
There you go.
Everybody else casting calls and doing things.
Oh, don't even do that.
That's what we do up in here. We call out.
Yeah.
Actors.
You had something to say?
actress.
Huh?
Get to the subject.
Okay.
Okay, back to it.
Yeah. So,
Somebody.
the question for tonight, our topic for tonight.
Shout my girl out. I
Which
got
one?
to give my girl some love.
Which one?
Entrepreneur. This sister, 3LT, this young lady is giving back to the community. So
Okay.
she created a shirt called the Central Park 5
Okay.
to give back to, the Corby Wise Foundation. And every shirt that she sells with the Central Park 5 logo on it, she
Mhm.
gives part of the, proceeds to his foundation for what he's doing to help incarcerated people who are wrongly incarcerated. So I had to shout out my girl Monica PK. She's not even watching, but I definitely had to shout her out.
That's right. That's what I'm
She's doing
talking
her
about.
thing. Go check her out. 3LTshirts.com.
Outstanding.
See what I'm talking about?
Outstanding. Yeah.
Ain't watching, but I'm still listening. I'm still a part of it.
Yeah.
See, that's what makes the change right there. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. There you go. Let's dive into the subject for a few
Okay.
minutes here.
Let's
We
have
got
some fun with it.
another 10 minutes or so before we go to break. Tonight's topic is, how do you confess your love to someone?
Well, I write on a piece of paper, right? I say, hey, I love you. Do you circle yes or
Yes
no?
or no?
Now, y'all act like y'all ass didn't do that back in the day. You a lie.
Everybody
I
knows.
did what everybody else did.
Everybody used to do it.
But
Yeah.
I left off that or other. No, don't give them too many fences.
Yes, no, or maybe,
Yes,
right?
no.
This boy in middle school used to say it in French to me. When
In
I was,
French?
you know how you had to stand up in front of the class? Shout out to Troy.
Wait a minute, you still remember?
Yeah,
That shit worked. Hey, y'all,
Yeah.
said it.
Homeboy,
French.
Troy
How you
Brooks.
say- how
He
you
used to
say-
scare the
she
piss out
said-
of me though. He used
hold
to
on.
say, I love you in French all the time to me. I didn't even
But
stop
hold on,
that.
you still remember that shit?
Absolutely.
It worked.
It worked.
Wait a minute, hold on. How you say it in French? Because that let me know how well you
Je t'aime.
received it.
Je t'aime.
See, je t'aime. hang on.
That's good.
To all y'all men listen to
That's
me. I'm repeating what she said. That's ATL.
Yeah.
We don't get it twisted up
You
here.
might be saying some bad here.
I don't know what the hell I'm saying.
No,
I'm repeating. I'm repeating.
I love you.
Let's
But
go with something.
we were
Go ahead.
in middle school.
Right. That was
Come
it.
on.
So listen,
But-
people used to do that a lot. Did you do that in school?
What?
Notes.
No.
I love you. Do you
You
know?
ain't never
Yeah.
said
That ever happened to you?
I was such a tomboy back then.
Oh, you used to just beat him up.
So you did.
If I can whoop your ass, then you can't. Yeah, I can't date you.
And I remember it used to happen to me. I used to write letters and
Yeah,
I
everybody
notes.
wrote letters.
That's the way it worked. What the point I'm trying to make here is we used to communicate that even as children. We would actively communicate our feelings to people.
Yeah.
And I don't know that happens anymore.
Yes, it do.
Like
I
that.
seen it on Facebook. A little kid told his mama, on mama, on everything, mama.
Wow.
He was so young,
Yeah.
but he felt real feelings at a very young age.
Yes.
And you can't denounce that.
You
But
can't denounce
again, to him, you look at him, he's just a child. He's a child with emotions and feelings that he learns off of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to denounce it because you should know about that. You
But he does.
can't. The mind is endless.
Right.
So if he caught it early, don't pull him down. Don't make him unshy.
Yeah.
He just letting you.
I like
What's
that. I like that.
So did either of you ever write letters using the titles of songs?
No, I
Never
played
did
them.
that.
You talking about? I know. I'm old school.
I got letters
I can't
that
sing,
had
so I
the
played them. You
name,
know
the
what I'm
titles
saying?
of song, and it was a cohesive letter.
Okay.
I still have it.
Yes,
Okay.
you still have it, so it
Okay.
meant something.
Miss
Because I
Tom
played
Boy.
music. You call me, I played some Jodeci. Girl, Jodeci got me old.
They used to send the little tapes with the song.
Who you telling? I'd send them too.
So-
Did you get my tape?
What?
Listen, I really like what you said earlier. You got to be strong in your resolve before you share the message, I love you, to someone, right? And otherwise, you wouldn't even think of doing that. You wouldn't want to share, I love you. You wouldn't want to share it unless it's deep, unless it's real heartfelt, right? Why wouldn't you confess your love to someone?
Because you're not knowingly
Because it's not
if they
true.
feel the same, you know.
No, because it's not.
And do they have to feel the same before you confess it?
It's not the truth. I'm not going to tell you that if I don't mean it.
There you
Why would I
go.
tell you?
Right, but would I tell you that knowing that you're not in love with me?
Huh?
Do I have to depend on how you feel to tell you how I feel about you?
That
Well,
doesn't make sense.
Well, that happens all the time, right? I can
Yeah,
tell you
that's
I
It
right.
love
doesn't
you.
make sense.
When I-
Just because it happens doesn't
women-
mean it makes sense.
Exactly. Women say it all the time, but if you don't say it
They
back to them,
lying,
they
and
get real.
they trying to get something.
Yeah, here it is.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
Now see,
Folks be
Nothing.
lying.
They-
You say
they-
they do it all the
for-
time. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that's for a result.
I think you hear where I'm trying to go.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like sometimes, even in grown folks, we're not gonna confess that we love someone unless we know that they love us. And especially early in a relationship, with the first few I love yous. I mean, we're on the show, talk about
I
it.
just don't think that's true.
Okay.
I'm not telling somebody I love them because I want to know if they love me back. Maybe I'm telling them because their actions show that they love me.
Now see,
And I wanted to verbalize it.
Maybe.
that.
There's 100 scenarios. Give me some more.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one hit home.
Then I
Give
don't
me some.
have a problem with saying
Give me some more scenarios that you would say that.
that the reason that I
Maybe
would say-
that you love him, but you're not quite sure if he loves you.
But I don't care. If I love him, that's how I feel.
And you'll tell him that.
It's
even
not
though you don't know.
indicative of how he feels. It's indicative of how he's made me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he might not have to say it.
Okay.
His actions have clearly
See that.
shown me.
Right. And you say you love him, and he doesn't say he loves you back. That's not a problem.
I'm not.
No. Because
Because he's already showed that.
The number one thing I
Right.
heard.
Yeah, but
I'm
he-
not gonna
that
say
Ron
that.
Bell
Now, listen,
is he
y'all-
took
y'all-
the time to
That ain't just a
show.
meal.
Yeah,
and-
listen, I get it, but y'all are starting to go pie in the sky a little bit because we done had way too much conflict as men from not saying it back. We done had
Y'all with the
way.
wrong woman then.
We talking about women. we ain't talking about
That's what I'm saying,
about
you with
one
the
of
wrong
them
woman.
or a few of them. We talking about average woman. We talking about that main population that men get in trouble all the time because they didn't say it back, right? And so, is that genuine love? Do they really love the guy if they have to expect the words "I love you" back?
No.
They don't.
Hold up.
Right?
Hold up.
So,
We
At
need
the end
you
of
on
the
the
day,
mic.
it's words. It's words.
Get one of these mics on, man.
At the end of the day, it's words. And anybody can say the words, I love you.
Yeah.
They don't have to mean it.
There you go. There you go. They don't have to mean it.
So it shouldn't be an issue.
It could
whether
be some
somebody-
game.
Absolutely. I've said it before and didn't mean it.
oh, you lie.
Really?
You lied on love?
I mean,
Oh, no, not on this show.
Because that's
Oh,
what
we
you
can
wanted
turn
to
this
hear.
mic on, no.
So you confessed your love. You,
See,
No, I
that's
didn't
a lie.
confess my love. I said I love you.
you confessed that same thing. You said I love you
I
to him,
ain't
but you
said
didn't mean it.
I did.
And so why did you say it?
Because he pushed me. He forced, he wanted me, he wanted to hear it. I
He-
said, so what you saying is you want
Listen,
to hear me tell you
Well, that's what I was just talking about a minute ago. People who were saying it, but they get upset because you don't say it back. So
He was upset.
you was pressured to say it, and you said
I
it,
said it.
even though you didn't quite mean it.
I did. Well, no, I didn't. I didn't mean it in the way that he wanted me to.
And what
I was not in love with
he
him.
he wanted you to mean it like you were in love with
Right,
him.
and I do love him. I did love him.
Yeah.
I was not in love with him.
Yeah. Explain the difference there.
It's a
Let's
huge
talk.
difference.
Yeah.
Love, I love everyone in my family.
Okay.
I'm not in love with everyone in my family.
Okay.
I love my friends.
Yeah.
I'm not in love.
Okay. What do you do differently when you're in love with somebody than versus just love?
It's just the way you respond to their actions. It's a
Okay.
different way.
Okay.
But when you talk about being in a male-female relationship and being in love with somebody, it's a whole nother level. It's not what you do for your friend, your homies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
It's a whole,
Okay.
it's levels to
That was
it.
kind of a side note conversation. Is your mic live, man?
I'm not
Let's
sure
let's
yet.
let's bring her mic up
We bring a witness
because I
protection.
need to hear
She a
from
witness
you.
protection. But real talk, people say that
You know
they
that's
throw that
crazy,
four-letter
right?
word around like it's a curse word.
People do throw it around like it's a curse word, and let me tell you where I'm going. Now, I always got a direction I'm trying to head in. That young in life, we would say it openly, and when we become grown, now we got to say it somehow or another based on what we expect to get in return, how we expect it to be received. We say it based on what they want because they're pressuring us to, and so now we can't trust the words "I love you."
But I
Oftentimes,
said it when I was young.
Right.
I would never say it now if I didn't mean it.
you would never say it
I
now.
would not if I
You
didn't
wouldn't
mean
play with it
Not
anymore.
at all.
And I think that the dichotomy there is that you've learned to value the words.
Yeah, I'm on some grown woman shit.
You're on some grown woman stuff, and I love that. Now, see, a lot of people aren't on some grown woman stuff, and they'll say it, and they're looking for a response. They're trying to butter you up, and they don't really mean it. And I'm particularly talking to women because we know that men play the game sometime. And
We play 'em too.
I'm always an advocate for women. That men will use those words. Man, you might be spending money. You might be giving up the cookie. You might got a nice place that he can come and chill out and kick it at sometime. You might be broadening his horizons a little bit, and so he's using the word, but he doesn't necessarily mean it. And we probably need to talk about how you can determine if someone means it or not. But I'd really like to hear from this young lady. You have any commentary on this on the subject?
You know she crazy,
The
right?
artist?
Yeah, the audience. Is this
Well,
mic on?
Yeah. Is it on?
Okay, I choose to not be seen,
We can't hear you.
but I'll definitely
Okay.
represent Leslie. Right?
Okay.
Relationships are bullshit right now.
Hold on.
Facts.
Stop.
Hold on.
Stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
they're
Just stop.
bullshit.
Stop. Because we can't hear you. Stop. We can't hear you. Hold on. Jay's gonna
that's
fix
not
that.
my fault.
I think this is powerful.
That's
This is
Jay's bar top.
powerful.
But Jay gotta get up on.
What you just said was kind of powerful, right?
Relationships are bullshit.
Cheers, fellas.
I know you had them up the other
It's
day,
about to
Jack.
be real.
That's all we need to be
Open
turned
him.
on.
I'ma just.
All right.
Okay. That's
Just
perfect.
gotta hold it to
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is Adrian. She's just part of the team.
No,
Go
okay,
ahead.
so
Go ahead.
that's not my real name.
Go ahead.
I just told
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's a stage name. Go ahead.
Get yourself together, Leslie.
You say stage?
So I'm real incognito, but as far as relationships, they're bullshit right now. Right? So everybody is living off of the old mechanisms and how relationships are supposed to work, the ingredients that are for formulate it into what you need and what you require in order to make a relationship work. That shit is super fucking official. It only applies to where you stand in your life right now. If you're dealing with somebody that's an entrepreneur, then cool, you need to be on that same retrospect. If you're not on that retrospect, anything else is insecure.
Okay.
Right?
Right. Inferior.
That's pretty much it. I only deal with entrepreneurs. I don't know what everybody else deals with.
Okay.
I deal with strong women, which is why I work with and I deal with a woman such as Leslie.
Right.
And she's only one of the many. I don't fuck with the bullshit. And like when they call me for advice, it's not the superficial stuff.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's stuff that applies to their life and who they need and who's going to be applicable for them.
Right.
Not the average standard. The average standard is how do I deal with the guy who's a 9 to 5? That's average.
Right.
Entrepreneurship and in that world, that's a whole nother dynamic. You have to
Ain't
be
nowhere
a
near the
whole
same.
nother
Another
level
level.
Yeah.
right now to be in that realm. And that's where Leslie is. And this is why I deal with her. And this is why we're friends. And this is why we love each other. And this
Right.
is why I can go to her house in her backyard and I can meditate
Okay,
in
all
the
right,
grass.
we get it, y'all.
And I love the crickets and all that shit.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah,
people
okay.
don't love the birds.
Right.
Y'all kill the birds.
All right, somebody needs to take mic. Take mic. What I heard is what I love. Again, it's out the box experience.
It is.
Again, you're saying something that I don't know if everybody woke up to. This bottom line is going to work and all that. That's necessary to understand you. I'm not saying not to get your paper. I'm not saying that. But when you enter that other realm, it changes your whole life. And it opens up your mind in a different facet that what was taught to you compared to what you really have in you is two different things.
Right.
And that's why most people just driven in entrepreneurship, they drive through. They see what you don't see. That's why they're able to create. Everybody else just want to see what's already been done. That's it. That's why when you get around somebody that's creative, you understand their creativeness that they have. That's why you're good at doing your job, because you understand on a dare, but I did it. Look where I'm at. To everybody else, I wouldn't have did it because you're scared. You got to get past fears and understand self, and it takes you to another place.
Yeah.
I like to say when I was scared to say I love you because I might get rejected. I'm really having a fear of me. Just because you're feeling it, don't mean I need to be scared of it, because I shown it way before I ever said it. If I really felt it. I promise you, every time I ever told somebody I loved them, they knew way before I ever said it. I showed my actions, and I am a real person that I ain't have to have that word to define my action.
Right.
That's the problem with fear, because you know you didn't even measure up to the damn word.
Right.
I said it because that word is responsive. It's a powerful word.
Yes.
I used to use care before I ever said love. If you tell me you love me, you damn sure have to care for me.
Right.
So when I meet somebody, I use care. Because I can't tell you, I don't know you.
Right.
But I can still give a warm hand, and I can do things because I am a responsible, caring man. But to tell you I love you and I don't know you, I don't know if I really can do all that, because I'm asking myself, do I really love you? Because that's what they said Christ is for me to do for everybody. Or while we be real with you and know I care. I care enough that I don't want to lie on somebody else told me to do, when I know I care enough to tell you the truth. I care. I don't love you like that. Everybody don't need to hear what you don't feel, because I love you. That don't mean I love you the same damn way. It's different ways to receive and understand. But quit playing with it because somebody else told you, well, she love you. You need to tell it back. You need to tell them to mind their business, because that's what you used to do. Don't mean that's you.
Yeah.
Me, don't play me. I won't play you. Because if you say it, I don't feel like I need to repeat it. But when I say it, it better be for me. Not because of what you said to me. It's what I feel for me, for you. And you might have said it to me years ago. Just because you said it years ago, don't expect the next year for me to repeat.
Please, people
But
love
I might not
Beyonce.
be.
She sing well.
They like
Yeah.
it. But I don't always do it. My whole thing is, I'm strong on me. Because if you leave me because I don't say it, you wasn't meant for me. It's understandable. Your love for me might not carry me all the way through. And because it's not your love for me that I really need. I have to love myself.
Right.
And there was a time I didn't.
Okay.
So your love fell on deaf ears and a dark soul. So when I start loving me, I start receiving things in a different way.
But that's
So what-
important what he just said.
What's that?
It fell on deaf ears and a dark soul.
Yeah, and,
'Cause I didn't
and
know.
listen, I think that's a great segue to really kind of hammer the subject a little bit. Are you going to tell someone that you love them if they can't understand it? If they couldn't quite buy into it? If they don't quite feel you, right? And probably not, right? If you know it's going to fall on a dark, deaf ears, dark soul, you're probably not going to say it. But I'm going to encourage you that if you feel it, say it. It doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't make you seem weak or look weak. It can if your actions go along with it and say that you're weak, you're silly putty in my hand. You know what I mean?
Really?
But yeah, I mean, the reality is that if you show yourself, if you love me and you all, soft and squishy type love, and that may not be what I'm interested in, you're gonna show yourself as kind of weak. You're gonna show yourself as like, hey, I know you love me, but that's kid love you producing right now. Grown woman love might not look like that.
Can I have a little fun with this one?
What's that? I keep going off.
No,
it's
it's not
I got a
on
train
top.
on
It's just one. I want to get to it because if they care for you and love you, and they know you soft, then they'll make you strong.
That's fact.
Why in the world do I want to crush you
But wait,
and play with you?
Not make you strong, but
But
they'll
listen.
help you see that you
You'll have
already are
strength
strong.
than weakness.
Yes.
Because
Right.
if I can grab you and I can form anything I want, then that's what they're playing with.
I
But
mean-
when I know you can be molded and I see greatness in you, I want to see the greatness in you because it makes me stronger because now I know we align. Because
Right.
bottom line,
Right.
destroying is easy.
Right.
Okay? The power of the tongue
So-
to destroy is one of the things that I hear more than I care for.
Right.
One of the things I love is encouragement.
Right.
Is that's when we look past ourselves and realize we're not perfect by far. But I care enough to give you some words of wisdom for you don't have to destroy because I might have done enough of that. And I want to see other people do things of more encouraging and uplifting than destroying because it's easy to destroy to me. But it's
It is easy
even
to
easier
it is easy
when
to
I change
destroy.
my
But
mindset.
I think
My mindset.
I think you destroy even more if you don't be honest with the person when they say they love you. Right? I think you do more damage than good if you don't be honest at that point.
But everybody,
And
Don't love the
definition of
same.
love is different.
And I might not love you the same.
I mean, don't. I'm not trying. You don't have to be on the defense with me.
No,
I'm just
I'm not
saying that, you know what I mean?
but I'm just throwing that out there. As
Everybody
as a
different.
point.
And there's no point. There's no relevant point in my discussion. I'm just simply suggesting.
I'm just sharing.
Yeah, please.
She said,
I'm good.
you need a little hug. She said, you need a hug.
I need the discussion to go on.
right.
The discussion is stifled. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, what I like to say is, yeah, you think about when it comes to that word.
Right.
We put too much into the word.
We
But
put
what
too
I
much into
love
the
to
word.
say
Right.
is what I heard from both of you, and even myself, action plays a huge role
Right.
in what I want to say.
Right.
Do I really feel it? Okay, you can say it all day. I hear people say, love this, love that, I love you, okay? They actually don't even show me none of that.
Right.
But when I hear a person saying, I'm not for sure, and I have a wise person sitting next to them and saying, well, what all do they do? And they naming all these positive things,
Okay.
but he don't say it. That's them dealing with the word,
That's good, Joe.
but not paying attention
That's
to
good.
what goes on.
That's good.
Now,
That's good.
they get confused because everybody else say it. Do you really know your mate? Because the problem is,
That's
if
good.
you really know him, he's showing you more than what you could ever hear to give you that sight. But you gotta hear.
With more Bar Talk with Jay. We are just running a tad bit behind, but we are going to close out this segment, this show, as we usually do. So we've been talking about, the question was posed, how do you confess your love to someone?
I said on a note.
And a whole lot of beautiful ideas came out here. I think, my favorite one was the strong. You got to be strong in your resolve. I just love that. Because otherwise you won't say it. Because if you're not strong in your resolve, you probably are expecting something in return. You might need to be lifted by them saying it back to you. But I'm of the notion that you should say it if you feel it, and not worry about what's coming back at you.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you feel it and you don't say it because perhaps some of those people might try to take advantage of you, try to take advantage of the situation. You don't know them well enough. You don't know how well they might take that information. But you can start caring, as Jay would say, and you can start pouring into people's life, and you can start showing that you love them, and then the day may come for the words to be spoken. I also love the idea of the fact that the words just don't represent what's really going on behind the curtain of love. You can't trust the words sometimes, because people are in so many different places in their life, and you never really know what they need. So, the words, sometimes we have to be careful, whether we're giving them or we're receiving them. It does require some care. I think it requires some analysis a little bit. Like, okay, this person loves me, and, where's that really coming from? Is that coming from something I did for them? Maybe they can just see that I care for them, and they're just trying to express their love for me. Receive it. I'm not saying, to not receive the love, but sometimes you got to question it, because sometimes it may be pure intentions, and we've learned that sometimes it may be impure intentions. So,
but I think when it's impure, you look at the person.
Exactly.
You look at the person. I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know what the heck love was.
Right.
I was raised by my grandmother and my aunts.
Okay.
Not my parents.
Right.
I was shucked around. So for me, love looked like something different than what it might look like to you.
Right.
And so when somebody asks you that, because it qualifies them, if you care about them, at least care. Then you want them to be okay.
Right.
So when I said it, it wasn't because I did lie, but it wasn't about me at that point. It was about helping somebody else.
Yes, and that was I call that a good lie. There is, a good white lie. You know what I'm saying? That's a good lie. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you gotta hear what she said now. It's profound. She said it because she did. Well, part of it is that I don't want to really create any conflict here. I just want it to be kosher. And so I love you too. I don't have to describe how I love you, but I said I love you, right? I really loved you Christ-like. I love you brotherly, but you might perceive it as I love you the wrong way. And if you perceive it the wrong way, your actions after that are probably going to tell me that you received it the wrong way, right? Because you're going to step outside of the box, a box that I wasn't ready to get into, for example.
You got in the box your ass wasn't ready for.
I mean, but even at this age, come on. Like, to me, real talk, you got to know what you want.
Right.
And you got to know what that looks like.
Right.
And what it feels like.
Right.
Mentally.
So at this age, grown folk, right, could be, 35 to 95, you experience love with somebody, and someone says that they love you now, you will only say it back if you feel love for them, right?
Absolutely. I'd be like, that's cute. You keep moving.
Right.
I've said it.
Right.
I have.
You had somebody to say they love you.
Sweet.
And they genuinely meant romantic love, right?
I was thinking.
And you said that's cute. How they respond to that?
They was like, you play too much.
You play too much.
Ain't no damn play shit. You real. You know what I'm saying?
But they know me, and they know well enough to know.
Right.
If I'm showing you how I feel, then you take that.
And you take it.
When it's time for me to reciprocate the word, trust that that's what I mean.
Right. And if nothing else comes out of this show, I think that is probably the greatest point, that love is something that you will see. It's something that you'll experience. It's something that you will feel long before the words ever pour out of that person's mouth.
Can I give one little small headway?
Go ahead.
Can you learn to love yourself first?
Right.
Oh, I love me.
Because when you love yourself, you can understand when somebody really showing you love.
Right.
Because it is of you, which will make me want to pour back into you.
Right.
Because I see you. And I see you when you don't
Yo,
see
that's
me.
so deep because I have to say this. I keep hitting this thing, right?
Yeah, I know this.
I'm
You
so
kind of violent,
passionate.
ain't you?
passion.
I don't know about passion.
This is the funny
love
thing. It's funny because yesterday, you know, my homegirl I shouted her out, BLT shirts.
Right.
But this is the funny thing. She just created a line of shirts, and it says hashtag self-love. And it's said multiple times. And yesterday I wore one of her shirts that said, "This is what self-love looks like." And everywhere I went yesterday, people just smiled at me. And I smiled right back because it's an internal thing that people can feel. You don't ever have to say the words.
Yes.
You don't have to walk around cocky or overconfident.
Right.
People can see it and they can feel it.
People can see that you love yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
Now,
Right?
I'm going to tell you
That is
one thing
powerful,
about loving
man.
yourself.
I love
And
it.
this is what I love. If you met a person that loves themselves, they have an aura.
They have an aura about
Absolutely.
And when I get around a person that I can perceive myself around and I know they love themselves, it's easier for me to communicate with them.
Yes.
Because I already have love for myself.
Right.
So at that point, we have like a mutual respect. I don't have to come sideways. I don't have to come with some bull. I'm able to talk to her in a caring way, and she understands it's caring. She already shown love. But see, people use the word to fill in what they don't even understand. You don't have to
Right.
say it if I already know an aura about
If
you.
I can see.
I don't gotta hear I love everybody, all this. That's just you acting all the way out. I'm looking at your actions. I'm looking at what you really do.
Yeah.
And that speaks
Yeah.
louder than half that stuff you say.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why nobody really believes in you.
Yeah.
Because you want to do more than you really know. Guess what? Get back to you.
Okay.
Get back to your love.
There you go.
And you will have to say, I care and I understand love. Because see, care
Watch this.
still one of the things you
I
know.
wanna just spend a little time on that self-love, because confessing love to other people, we kind of covered that gamut a little bit. It can be real, it can be not real, etc., etc. But do you confess love of self?
Absolutely. Every day.
And there are a lot of people who look in the mirror and do not or cannot say that they love themselves.
I absolutely.
But that's how you
I
talk
had
to
to get
yourself.
to a point though.
Yeah.
I wasn't always like that.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about that transition. Like, what had to happen before you started saying, I love myself? You could look in the mirror and say, I love myself. I love you.
You know
I love you,
what?
girl.
I realized how much of a fighter I was in my survival.
Okay.
That's why you keep beating on my table.
Okay.
Probably.
Little violent.
But no, just what I've been through in my life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I realized that, you know what? Not everybody can survive this.
Okay.
And it's the reason God has me here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason God has me here in sound mind.
Okay.
It's the reason God has me here spiritually inclined.
Okay.
It's the reason God has me here where I have a very deep level of knowledge of self.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, I'm like, you know, you're a bad bitch. Excuse
Okay.
me. You know,
Yeah.
excuse
No,
my.
no bad.
Yeah.
But at the
that.
end of the day, I have to tell myself that. So when I go to a restaurant or I'm hanging with my girls and a guy says to me that's darker than me and says to me that you're not cute, baby, that's your perception of cute.
Right.
It's just not chocolate. And I get it.
Right.
My niece don't like chocolate.
Right.
But I don't think that's a bad thing. It's okay. Because that doesn't do anything to me,
Right.
how you feel about what I look like.
Right.
I'm cool with what I look like.
Right.
I'm 100% cool with what I look like. I love you.
Right.
And nothing
And that's-
anybody can say when you really, really love yourself.
When you really love yourself, that's your own protection.
That's somebody
area.
telling, that's just like, okay, well that's red. No, but that's yellow, sweetie. Well, no, I was taught that that's red.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you right now, she just closed that out.
Yeah, I like
What?
the commentary that she tells herself. I'm a bad bitch. I'm bad. I'm there. I'm all the way in. I'm super fly. I'm hot. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm glorious. I love when I get in the mirror and start saying, man, you so blessed, Crab. I'm so blessed, man. One of the things that I do, my love of myself is based on my relationship with the Lord.
Bam! It is.
So that, because I'm fleshly, you know what I'm saying? I kind of break the rules all the time. But when I know that He loves me, it allows me to love myself. And I get my bloated, one author, Ernest Holmes, just say, we have to get our bloated nothingness out of the way so that God can do for us what needs to be done.
There you go.
And so I remove my bloated nothingness through my relationship with Him. And so it's easy for me to tell myself that I love me because I know He loves me.
That's the twist, though.
That's the twist.
That's the twist. I have a relationship with God.
Right.
I speak to God every morning.
Right.
I center myself with God
Right.
before I walk out the door, before I go to the mirror.
Right.
And so I know His word, and I know what His word tells me.
Right.
And I'm secure in it. I have seen His hand move in my life. So nothing anybody else tells me
Right.
can dictate how I feel about me.
Right.
So it
That's
all
wonderful.
stems with a relationship with God.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to say on top of that. All right, boy guy. Get us up. Come on, pay attention. One of the things I got to say real quick, when she says profound, because she touched you to tell you might not like. She touched you to realize it ain't for everyone, but what He has for the world is part of me. People don't always see. They so quick to judge by past experience or what they see. But what they don't know is what's in front of them. Everybody heard a certain name. Everybody know a certain celebrity. But do you really know me? Because if you know the power in me, you will say my name more than what you might say somebody else's. They might not even be doing the things that you really need to be done for you. But if you understand what He has for you, believe me, my brother, there's no quitting. That's why she fought, and she didn't understand. He has something for me.
Yeah.
That's why you fought so hard. It's not to quit. But then it makes sense why you fought. It wasn't to quit, and it is to stay in this race and realize we don't have it right, but we can be better. And that's why she touched. Because guess what? I'm not perfect. I might not be what you like, but it's all right. That's what we need to touch and make people realize. It ain't just love. Can you touch somebody and let them know, even though you might not like me for my color, you might not like me for whatever reason, it's all right. That's your personal feel. Please understand, get deeper and you'll realize, I never offended you. So why did you come at me?
There you go.
Because that's what you've been taught. Hatred is taught. We can unteach when we don't do. You tell somebody you ugly as AGLA, and they sit back and tell you to you. At that point, if you know anything real, you will realize you the fool. You looking with an eye. You ain't even seeing what's in.
There you go.
But the funny thing is, even when he said it, after that, he came up to me. He was like, you know what, sis? You right. I said, what am I right about? He was like, you know what? I gotta really search myself because you look just like my mom. My mother's chocolate. He said, but I'm just attracted to light-skinned women. He said, and I'm sorry for saying to you that I don't like what you look like. Sweetheart, that's okay. It's not me because I'm a bad.
Yes,
And I didn't want you no way.
It takes
because
a big-
I already like
I know he
so
was
and
a
It takes a big person, though, to come back and say
It
that.
really does.
It really takes
does.
a very big person. Listen, we are out of time, and
No, man, we
this
can make
has
it go
been.
low. We can make it go low.
We ain't got nothing to say, man.
I mean, it sounds like y'all got a lot to say. But we're going to let it go.
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is, talking on something
Right.
is always going to lead me to say one thing. How do you really feel? This show is to get you to a round table to realize this is about you. This is a personal experience with us to give a dialogue to you in your self-reflection. How it hits you is up to you.
Right.
One of the things we did, we gave the time. We got a CEO in the house. She gave her time. She was like, really?
Thank
We
you
got to
for
do
being
this
here,
to her?
Leslie.
She didn't even mind after a while.
Yes.
She felt comfortable. But with this love, I got to tell you, this is what we do. I appreciate people coming in my house and feeling good enough to be able to speak their mind. When they wanted to leave, like at the 8 o'clock hour, and they stayed. That's what we do at Bar Talk with Jay. Jay wants you to pour out and pour in. And you've been doing that way before here. So again, if anybody really needs to look at a casting, you want to?
I want to sign.
You want to
I
sign?
know who sent you.
Lord.
Wherever I go.
Absolutely.
And that's
Tell
why you
us-
came tonight.
Yeah, and we certainly appreciate you being here and wish you all the best on all of your endeavors. We are expecting big things.
Thank you, me too.
That you can be in lights and be your greatest possibility. How do we find you? How do we stay in touch with
So
you?
I'm on Instagram at RTSE Casting, Facebook RTSE Casting, everything RTSE Casting.
Yes.
That's me. If you Google it, it's gonna pull everything.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
And-
Kraft said, "What about number?" You know.
Yeah.
You know,
And for those of-
the DVDs.
And for you, and
What
for
they
those of
gonna
you
call me
who,
for though?
You know good and damn
for
well.
those of you
Casting
who
call.
missed it, RTSE. Remember RT.
Raising the standard entertainment.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.